Hi, Jen. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So what do we have here?
So we have some issues going on either side of our walkway.
Okay.
Not really a green thumb type of person. We got this tall, skinny green bush. It's kind of just falling over. We got this one that looks like it's flattening out. I think it's a holly.
Right, it is. Very good.
And over here we have this rose bush that keeps
attacking you as you go in.
And then we got some dying bushes over here.
All right, so just looking at this quickly, I think over here it could be a possible snow problem. I don't know if you shovel off to the side. I mean, this is an arborvitae and it wants to be upright, and it might just not be in the right place anyways.
Okay.
And then the holly looks like it's just been crushed over the years and maybe not pruned. So moving on here, this is a juniper, and it looks like it's been here for a while, and I think it adds a great vertical element and gives balance to both sides of the house. So I think we keep this and prune out some of the dead wood inside, and then we'll reshape it. And then flanking it at the end with this really beautiful boxwood. I think that stays. So those two are good bones to the project. And then over here, this rose is definitely in the wrong spot, but it could relive on in another spot. So thinking that might be a good transplant.
Works for me.
You have a lot of good bones here. There's definitely good plantings that have been here for a while. So say this Japanese holly, I think we just tuck it in and prune it to reshape it.
Okay.
This is an arborvitae, and that's doing well. And this is a different type of arborvitae that might stay or go. This boxwood has definitely seen better days, and I'd like to
get it out of here.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is we go through and do the removals that we want to do, and then do the pruning, and then we see what blank areas we have to work with, and then we'll come up with a plan from there.
That sounds great.
All right, let's get working.
All right.
All right, so we're going to start with taking this arborvitae out. Nice. Okay.
All right.
All right, I'm just going to cut this back a little bit so it'll be easier to dig out the base so we don't scratch ourselves. Got that?
Yep.
In the future, everything should be pruned once a year just to keep it in check. Got it?
Yep.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to try to save this rose, right?
Okay.
So what I want to do is cut it back to a couple feet high. And then we'll dig it up and put it in a pot and set it aside for wherever you may want to transplant it.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, so you could be pretty aggressive when you cut this rose back because it's gonna come back in full force. Okay, so we want to save this shrub. It's a Japanese holly. It just needs to be pruned back a little bit. So what I want to do is follow these long offshoots, follow it back down to the crotch or the V of the plant, snip it right there.
Would it be right around here?
Yep. What we also want to pay attention to is keeping these two as separate plants. The arborvitae is its own, this is its own. So if you prune it and keep along with it, you could have them always be their own individual plant.
How far down do I want to take this one down to? All the way?
If you're unsure, go halfway, and then if it doesn't look right, see, I think that looks good.
Looks good to me. This one I think could.
And sometimes take a step back and look at the shape. Like if you like how the shape looks, because sometimes you don't see it when you're in it. If you have a different perspective, look at it from where you're going to be walking by. Does anything else bother you?
Not at the moment.
All right. I just see a few more pieces that are touching, only like right here, that are touching the arborvitae. So, perfect. Okay, Amy, so I've staged all the plants for you to approve.
Oh, wow, it looks great.
Excellent. So what we have here are all perennials and grasses. So what happens to these during the winter, they become dormant and they go underground. So when you're shoveling your path, you could pile all the snow you want right on top.
Oh, that's convenient.
It's going to be great. Another thing here, for design principle-wise, I tried to pick different bloom times. So you want spring, summer bloomers, fall. It's nice to have different things going off at different times in the garden. And also the texture. This dwarf fountain grass.
I love that.
Yeah, the texture is beautiful. The plumes come out in the fall, and it's anchored by these two sedum stone crops on either side. Totally different shape and structure from the fountain grass, but they have same bloom times, and it's about to flower pink, and it just has this more of a lumpy, roundish, irregular shape to it. But even when it's not flowering, the foliage looks beautiful.
It is beautiful.
And traveling down this way, we have some echinacea, which is this beautiful red cone flower, and that will be a summer bloomer for you.
That's beautiful.
And traveling over here, where your arborvitae was tipping over, remember?
I remember that.
I wanted to have some height here still, so this is a switchgrass, so it's going to help hide the foundation, give you that nice vertical element. But again, these will die back in the winter. But we have texture, we have height, we have the salvia, which is a May bloomer, but when you cut it back after it blooms in May, it's going to rebloom for you. Over here, we have some anemones, which are great fall bloomers. They're absolutely beautiful. And then over there, repeating the lady's mantle. So it'll all connect and tie in together.
Awesome.
So if you approve, I think we could start planting.
It's approved. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it then. And pull up the soil. Put it to the side, squeeze the pot. So what you want to do is tease it a little bit.
Now, why do you do that?
Okay, so in a pot, sometimes roots tend to become pot bound and they start to grow in a circle. And by teasing the roots, you're breaking them out so they can reach out into the soil. Backfill. And you want to leave it a little bit high because we are going to mulch. I plant everything in 3s or 5s. I mean, there's no reason why they're odd numbers. Sometimes I do 4s, but it makes more of an impact when the plant just grows together as one big plant instead of putting one here, one here, one here. I think it's more of a visual impact.
I bet it looks nice once they're all grown together.
It does. I guess it's a personal preference too. Okay, so the final stage is mulching. And then let's just sprinkle it around the plants, but don't cover the base of the plant.
Okay.
Finally, we'll give everything a good watering. Okay, so your homework is to water the plants until they're established and then cut them back at the end of the season.
I think I can handle that. It really looks fantastic.
It really does. I mean, it's so welcoming. The colors, the textures, the heights. Everybody thinks you need to put heavy shrubs for foundation plantings, but you could just see, just adding those perennials for color really helps out a lot.
Well, I really can't thank you enough.
Well, keep them alive.
I'll try.
All right, nice to meet you.
Have a good day.
Take care.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button. Make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.